That struck waters off Kota Kinabalu, Sabah lasted about 10 seconds at midnight last night, triggering panic among residents in the surrounding districts and Putatan.
These seismic readings captured Malaysia's most powerful earthquake in over a century. A massive magnitude 7.1 quake that struck just after midnight on February 23, 2006. The tremor sent shockwaves through the scientific community and rattled buildings across Southeast Asia. This wasn't just another tremor. This was a geological monster that rewrote the record books and forced experts to confront an uncomfortable truth about Malaysia's seismic vulnerability. At 12:57 a.m. local time, seismic stations across the region lit up as the Earth unleashed energy equivalent to 32 times more powerful than what the magnitude scale might suggest, compared to typical regional quakes. The United States Geological Survey clocked it at 7.1, while the Malaysian Meteorological Department, Met Malaysia, registered 6.8. That difference represents vastly more energy release than you might expect from those decimal points. What made this earthquake truly remarkable wasn't just its size, but where it happened. The epicenter sat less than 100 kilometers northeast of Kota Kinabalu, beneath the Sulu Sea at a staggering depth of 620 kilometers below the surface. Most earthquakes that cause serious damage occur within 70 kilometers of the surface, but this monster was buried almost 9 times deeper in what seismologists call the Wadati Benioff zone. Malaysia hadn't experienced anything close to this magnitude since October 28, 1904, a full 122 years ago. That 7.0 earthquake marked the beginning of Malaysia's modern seismic record. Since then, the country has experienced roughly 1 magnitude 6 or higher earthquake every 25 years, making the 7.1 event a genuine once-in-a-lifetime occurrence. Dr. Mohd Hisham Mohd Anip, Director General of Malaysia's Meteorological Department, confirmed this was the strongest earthquake to hit the country in the past 11 years. The historical context makes it far more significant, though. This was the biggest in over a century, catapulting Malaysia into seismic territory most citizens never imagined possible. The earthquake's extreme depth created a fascinating paradox. While its magnitude was enormous, the 620K depth actually saved lives and prevented catastrophic damage. Deep focus earthquakes behave differently than their shallow cousins. As Dr. Muhammad Nur Ismail Abdul Rahman from University Malaysia Terengganu explained, very deep earthquakes can be felt over a wide area, but their intensity at the surface is usually weaker. This explains why people reported feeling tremors from Thailand to Singapore, and even in Brunei, over 1,500 kilometers away. A location directly above the epicenter sits 620 kilometers from the actual earthquake source, while a city 200 kilometers away horizontally is only 650 kilometers from the hypocenter, just 4% further. This allowed the earthquake to spread its energy across a massive area while reducing concentrated damage in any single location. Social media captured this wide-reaching impact perfectly. Reddit users in Singapore's eastern districts reported apartments shaking quite a lot near Katong Park, with tremors felt in Marine Parade and Slab. These reports came from people over 1,000 kilometers from the epicenter, yet they felt the earthquake almost as clearly as those much closer to the source. Here's where the story becomes genuinely unsettling for Malaysia. This earthquake occurred in what experts call a deep slab deformation event. B. Navakanesh from the Southeast Asia Disaster Prevention Research Initiative described it as an earthquake that occurred on a subducted slab rather than along a fault system as seen in previous earthquakes. Under the immense pressure at such depths, the slab accumulated stress until eventual failure released massive energy. Deep focus earthquakes remain one of geology's great mysteries. At 620 kilometers deep, the pressure and temperature should prevent rocks from exhibiting brittle behavior. They shouldn't be able to fracture and cause earthquakes. Yet, they do. Scientists theorize that phase transitions in minerals, like olivine transforming into wadsleyite, then ringwoodite, and finally spinel structures might trigger these deep ruptures, but the mechanisms remain poorly understood. To put this in perspective, the world's strongest deep focus earthquake on record was the 2013 Okhotsk Sea earthquake at magnitude 8.3 and 609 kilometers deep, making Malaysia's 7.1 event exceptionally significant for Southeast Asia. This earthquake may have occurred in the remnants of something even more extraordinary, the theoretical Proto-South China Sea. Some geologists believe this ancient ocean basin once separated Borneo from the current South China Sea millions of years ago. Today's deep earthquake fell close to what seismic imaging suggests could be fragments of this lost oceanic plate, now buried hundreds of kilometers beneath the surface. The contrast with Malaysia's most recent deadly earthquake couldn't be starker. On June 5, 2015, a magnitude 6.0 earthquake struck Ranau, Sabah, at a shallow depth of just 18 kilometers. Despite being significantly smaller in magnitude, it killed 18 people, all on Mount Kinabalu. The difference? Depth changes everything. Shallow earthquakes concentrate their destructive energy near the surface, while deep earthquakes dissipate energy across vast distances before reaching populated areas. Seismologists often run what-if scenarios after events like this. If the same magnitude 7.1 earthquake had occurred at the 2015 earthquake's shallow depth of 20 kilometers, the damage pattern would have been catastrophic. Instead of intellectual curiosity, this would have been a societal devastator affecting millions across Borneo and potentially beyond. The earthquake has reignited debates about Malaysia's seismic preparedness. Professor G's Rasmati Fauzi from University Malaya delivered a stark warning. This incident was a clear signal that Malaysia is no longer immune to tectonic risks. The traditional view held that Malaysia sat safely outside the Pacific Ring of Fire, protected from major seismic activity. New research challenges this comfortable assumption. According to emerging expert analysis, Malaysia is indeed within the Pacific Ring of Fire. Even if most quakes here are small, they show we're in an area where earthquakes do occur. Sabah remains particularly vulnerable due to its proximity to the collision zone between the Indo-Australian, Eurasian, and Philippine plates. This complex tectonic boundary creates a significant buildup of energy within the Earth's crust. The preparedness gap is alarming. Buildings in Malaysia simply aren't designed to withstand earthquake tremors. As experts noted, the occurrence of earthquakes of such magnitude may not cause severe destruction, but buildings will be damaged. This creates a ticking time bomb scenario where a shallower earthquake of similar magnitude could cause widespread structural failures. Since the 2015 Sabah earthquake, Malaysia has made significant improvements to its monitoring capabilities. The Malaysian Meteorological Department now operates 80 seismic sensors nationwide and has deployed 83 tsunami sirens in vulnerable coastal areas. The Malaysian Tsunami Early Warning System can relay earthquake alerts within 8 minutes of detection. Mountain rescue capabilities have also been enhanced with the formation of MOSAR, Mountain Search and Rescue, a dedicated volunteer team trained in high-angle rescue and emergency medical response. The immediate response to the 2026 earthquake demonstrated these improved capabilities. Authorities quickly confirmed no tsunami threat, with the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, PTWC, issuing official clearance within minutes of the initial alert. Fire and rescue departments reported no immediate casualties or damage, and conducted systematic patrols and monitoring across affected regions. The tourism industry, crucial to Sabah's economy, maintained operations with minimal disruption thanks to the earthquake's depth-limiting surface damage. Economic modeling suggests this earthquake will have minimal financial impact, with USGS calculations showing a 59% chance of total losses between $0 and $1 million, and only a 35% chance of losses reaching $10 million. The deep focus prevented the billions in damage that a shallow earthquake of this magnitude could have caused. This extraordinary seismic event serves as both a wake-up call and a reminder of Malaysia's geological reality. While the extreme depth of this magnitude 7.1 earthquake prevented catastrophe, it revealed the very real seismic forces operating beneath Malaysia's seemingly stable surface. The next major earthquake might not be so deep, and when that day comes, Malaysia's preparedness will be tested in ways the sleeping giant has never experienced. The earth beneath Malaysia has spoken with unprecedented power. The question now is whether the country will listen and prepare for when the next geological monster decides to wake up closer to the surface.